This is interesting. Tom Brady holds a lot of NFL records, including this one. Tom Brady back in 2021-22 made $9.5 million in group licensing income. Shedeur Sanders last year doubled it. He not only beat the all-time record of Tom Brady, he doubled it. He made $18 million in NFLPA group licensing income. So that's basically $2.5 million per touchdown pass for Shedeur Sanders. And one of the things when you're around kids a lot, you could be a pastor, you could be a dad, you could be a mom, you could be a youth coach, you could be a school teacher. When you're around kids a lot, you realize what they care about is not often what you and I care about. We all have blind spots, even parents. And I try to minimize those blind spots. But when Tim Tebow came out, you know, I'm agnostic, always have been. So there, he was wildly popular. I couldn't figure it out initially. And a lot of his popularity was driven by his deep conviction to Christianity. And I'm like, I don't get it. And then after about a year, I'm like, oh, I get it. It's not the quarterback. It's that. And that's fine. But I do believe that Shedeur Sanders, I would let him play all year. There's no way in the world I'm letting Deshaun Watson come back and play. And part of the reason I like Shedeur Sanders, his personality, he's fun, he's chill. It's not a Super Bowl team anyway. I think he is the first influencer quarterback where it's a little less about wins and more about who you are and how you connect. I don't buy that he's a fifth-round quarterback. I still will argue he was underdrafted. At worst, he was a late second-rounder. I think his mobility is good enough. Everybody said, well, he got his mom's DNA, not you know, Dion's. Well, nobody's ever gotten Dion's cornerback skill set. Okay, he was one-on-one, but he's athletic enough. I think he's a playmaker. He's got a good deep ball. I think he's fun. And the thing is, Cleveland's not playing for the Super Bowl. And so when I read that he shattered Tom Brady's record on this stuff, it's the classic blind spot for those of us who care about winning. And I see this in a lot of sport. The NBA has always had players who aren't really winning players. I could name 15 off the top of my head, but they're wildly popular. They sell shoes. That is where Shedeur is a little like an NBA player. He's an influencer.
All right. I think this is still a blind spot for you, Colin. I love you, but this is a bit of a blind spot. It's not that Shedeur is an influencer. It's what Shedeur Sanders represents. Shedeur has become essentially a cultural movement. It's almost like a protest against the status quo. A protest against the world of what you're allowed to be, who you are and what you're allowed to be as a person, as an individual. It's trying to show everyone that you can do it your own way. Don't let other people tell you to be something you don't want to be. Shedeur represents this hyper-independence. He represents the face of I will not conform to how you want me to be. And it's that representation combined with his talent on the field. So it's not just that he's popular or an influencer or people think he's cool. It's what they think he represents. It's almost like a counterculture. Think about when skateboarding got really popular, it was a counterculture. Or even the hippies. It was a protest against the rest of what was going on. We're going to skate on schools and railings and in the cities. Or the hippies, we're going to grow our hair out, not wear fancy clothes, wear bright colors. It's a protest. No, you can't do that. We can do whatever we want. It makes me think of a scene in Mad Men. Don Draper, super successful, super wealthy, is hanging out with some hippies in an apartment building. Police are out in the hallway. Everyone's drunk. They say, oh man, the Pollock. Are here. What do we do? Don gets sick of waiting. He gets up and says, I'm leaving. The guy says, hey man, you can't go out there. Don says, no. You can't go out there. He just walks out, gives a little nod to the police officer, and keeps walking. They nod at each other because he can do what he wants, and they can't. To me, that's what Shedeur represents. In reverse, though, because Shedeur feels like he's standing up for the person in the apartment who can't leave the building. It's the opposite direction in that way, but that's how I feel about it. So it's not that he's just an influencer. The looks-maxing people are influencers. The Kardashians are influencers. They don't represent anything of substance. What Shedeur represents has substance, what you can accomplish, inspiration to continue being yourself, Not feeling forced to conform in any direction, whatever that direction may be. He's become the face of that in a lot of ways. That's where his popularity has really gone through the roof, more than just did you see that play? Did you see that throw? Did you see that touchdown? Don't get me wrong, that's part of it too. But we saw it happen in the NFL with other players, and they didn't have nearly as much impact. It's interesting to hear Colin talk about this. He originally said he didn't want an influencer as a quarterback, which is why he didn't like Tebow and all that. But now he's kind of saying, okay, maybe let's do this thing. Colin has defended it. Why flip-flopped on this a million times? He can't make up his mind. It's already been consistently reported that Deshaun Watson is really ahead of the curve right now, ahead in this moment. I don't know how much that popularity matters for Cleveland. I don't know how much they'll let something like that dictate their decision. You can feel some outside pressure, but if they genuinely believe Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback, that's what the coaching staff will be forced to go with. The players aren't going to say, yeah, but Shedeur is so popular. They don't care about that. In fact, I guarantee a lot of other players will resent it. Crab bucket mentality, man. Crab bucket mentality. Especially if they don't think you're him, but you're getting paid like you are him and you're popular as if you are him. That's a one-way ticket for things to get weird, and get weird quick. That's why I say it's not about who's the immediate best quarterback. It's about who you can move forward with. I would only start Deshaun if he was, without a shadow of a doubt, levels above Shedeur. But if it's close, even if Deshaun is just marginally better, you've got to go with Shedeur. Outside of Deshaun saying, it's the 2017 me, the 2018 me. I'm back. Let's go, baby, I don't see why you would do otherwise. Unless Shedeur is just that far behind. Not a matter of how great Deshaun is, but if Shedeur just doesn't get it or isn't good enough. And I don't think we saw that from him on the field. Was his rookie year perfect? Obviously not. But it wasn't so bad that you say, this guy has no chance. It's over. Heck, they're still trying to give J.J. McCarthy another chance. I'd say he had a pretty bad showing too, in a significantly better situation. So it'll be interesting to see how Shedeur is covered this coming season, whether he's playing, on the bench, winning, or losing. I just did a whole video about this with Caleb, his popularity and Chicago's popularity. The biggest problem is that Shedeur is with the Cleveland Browns right now. If he were with a more popular team, oh my gosh, it would be game over. Game over. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about Shedeur Sanders? What makes him so popular? Do you think the Browns will feel pressure to make him their quarterback of the future? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree, let's get into discussions, get into fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Please consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love seeing you be part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.